afternoon, everyone. I am Muskan Jain, third year BLLB, and currently I am Deputy Vice President and Admin Head of Jasol Dialogue. Jasol Dialogue was founded in July 2020 as a youth-based, independent, non-partisan think tank doing legal and policy research work to make better laws, policies, and improve governance for public welfare. Today we have with us Sri Gopal Krishna Agarwal ji, an economic thinker, national spokesperson of Bharatiya Janata Party. He is a trustee and a treasurer of Indian Policy Foundation. He is a member of Task Force of MSME sector by Ministry of Finance. He is a government nominee on the Central Council of Institute of Companies Secretariat, and he is independent director on the board of Northeast Electric Power and Bank of Baroda. He is a member of board of governors at Indian Institute of Corporate Affairs. He has initiated various public welfare projects like Jal Adhikar, Nagrik Manch, anti-corruption movement, and has also drafted bills on black money and anti-bribery code. We welcome you, sir, in today's talk on the topic Atmanirbhar Bharat.
हाँ, बस ये मैं एक क्लियर कर दूं, बैंक ऑफ बड़ौदा, निपको एंड ICICI, I was my term has finished this year.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So people think being self-reliant or Atmanirbhar means cutting off from the rest of the world. So what is the extent of the word Atmanirbhar?
So I would like to thank the Jasol Dialogue for giving me this opportunity, and I am very happy that all the young faces, young people have come and joined this discussion. And I would be like to very much answer their questions, and let us keep it more of an interactive form. So I'll just give you a brief introduction of Atmanirbhar Bharat. What the vision of the Prime Minister, what we think about Atmanirbhar Bharat. One thing is that this self-reliant India should not be confused with a closed economy. This is, everybody should very clearly understand. A certain narration in the public domain, in the media and other circles is that India move back to the 1970 when there was high import duties, when there was a public sector undertaking in every field, and foreign investment was not welcome. So will we go for a closed economy, or what does this Atmanirbhar Bharat or self-reliant means? So I would like to just clear this thing is that Atmanirbhar Bharat or self-reliant is not a protectionist environment, economic environment that we look forward to. We understand that if India has to become a global power, economic power in the future, we need to integrate our economy with a particularly manufacturing sector into global and regional supply chain. This is one thing. Second important part that all should remember is that over the period since independence, we have been lacking focus on the manufacturing sector. Therefore, many of the problems had arisen in the country. One was lot of over dependence on the agriculture and underemployment and over people involved into the agriculture sector was one problem, and people were not finding involvement into the manufacturing sector. So the important focus of our government is to strengthen our manufacturing base, and through this strong manufacturing base, at one point of time our domestic manufacturing industry will be able to progress. Second thing is that employment generation can take place basically from this sector, because agriculture is already overburdened with people involved into that, and services cannot employ large population. So the manufacturing is the only area. So domestic manufacturing has to increase. It will absorb the give opportunity of employment. This manufacturing has for development needs to integrate itself with global and regional supply chain. But certain initiative over last some years, over a decade or so, where we opened our domestic manufacturing to regional and global competition without strengthening our factors of production and make them competitive is another problem that we have identified. Because manufacturing requires factors of production, strong competitive factors of production. And we don't have competitive factors of production with regard to power is availability of power is problem, cost of power is problem, land cost is a problem, logistic cost is a problem. Our logistic cost for the industry is almost 40% higher in the global arena. Then labor issues are there. So all those who are involved with economic education or economic sectors, they will know that the factors of production are most important for manufacturing. And for that, if we want to make a globally competitive economic manufacturing sector, we need to strengthen our manufacturing, the factors of production, make them globally competitive, and then open for global competition. And reverse processes will ultimately harm our manufacturing sector. So therefore, you will see certain initiative like we went out of RCEP. We are talking of working on the reworking on the free trade agreement with ASEAN countries, increasing our import duties, etc. Because we want to first create a strong manufacturing factors of production and strengthen our domestic manufacturing. And even with this strengthened manufacturing base, foreign investment of MNC shifting their manufacturing facilities from one country to our country, they are looking forward to it. They will also come. So this is the focus. And in Atmanirbhar Bharat, our major focus is on factors of production, strengthening the factors of production and integrating our manufacturing sector to global and regional supply chain. In addition to that, there is, Prime Minister has also talked about vocal for local. That means in the COVID situation, we have looked into an area where domestic local kirana shop, local service provider have been helping in our sustaining our day-to-day life. So that is important. But Atmanirbhar Bharat doesn't talk about product-based domestic consumption only. We know the benefits of e-commerce. We know the benefit of technology. We know the benefit of Industrial Revolution 4.0, which will include artificial intelligence, startup ecosystem. So our all focus is on that. So this is the opening remark that I wanted to give. We are working on certain new economic policies, like 4 important policies that currently we are working, which will change the whole manufacturing ecosystem. That is the industrial policy. At present, we have an industrial policy which was implemented in 1948. 1991, 30 years back, was the last amendment to industrial policy. Since 30 years, no amendment has taken place. Though industrial policy is very important for the manufacturing. So we are working on a new industrial policy. Retail trade is a very important segment for the economic development. Retail trade and e-commerce policy. We don't have any retail trade policy. We are working. Recently, I have given some suggestions, etc. Government is working on retail trade commerce policy. We have a draft e-commerce policy which will affect day-to-day life of everybody, ease of living, etc. Which will be implemented. Even there is a national logistic policy which will create a new infrastructure of road, railways, transportation, waterways, surface transport, all this warehousing, global cold storage chain, etc. This whole infrastructure of logistics is being created through this new national logistic policy, and we want to reduce cost of logistics. So These are the four important policies the government is currently looking forward, and surely we will see them in near future. And foreign trade is also an issue. So this is the Atmanirbhar Bharat that I wanted to give you in my opening remarks. Later on, whatever questions you have, I'll continue with them. Thank you.
So, we had this Make in India campaign, which was also aimed to promote Indian-made goods, and now we have this new campaign, which talks about becoming vocal for local. So, how are these two campaigns different from each other?
Vocal for local is a mass movement. What the Prime Minister talks about vocal for local is not a policy level initiative by the government. He talks that as a citizen, as the people who love our country, we should focus on using more and more local products. And at the policy level, the government cannot stop foreign product to come into India. So the Swadeshi concept, which Gandhiji also talked about, was focus on using more and more local product. It can be a mass movement from the people, but at the policy level, at the manufacturing level, at the economic ecosystem, manufacturing ecosystem, etc., the government has to into integrating our manufacturing into global and regional supply chain. You see our industries. We have certain sunrise industries like pharma industry, automobile industries. We are catering to the global market. At present, around 70% of the generic medicines global trade is being controlled and regulated, supplied by Indian pharmaceutical industry. But what happened due to certain policy mismatch, the this API product, which are ingredient to the generic medicine, we were manufacturing in India, but slowly we started importing from China. So that has harmed certain sector of the pharma industry. But ultimately, pharma industry is growing because we have global footprint. Automobile industry is growing that we are catering to the global automobile components are catering to the global automobile manufacturers. So at the policy level, Atmanirbhar Bharat means that making India strong, Atmanirbhar financially, economically, that is the thing. And Make in India was a initiative earlier, which did not take up as expected because the factors of production in India are not very competitive. So now in the Atmanirbhar Bharat, we are focusing on factors of production. At the same time, COVID has also, with the challenges, given certain opportunity for our global manufacturers to, that is, we call it risk diversion strategy. China has progressed with this initiative that major global manufacturers had set up their manufacturing facility in China. So the global manufacturers are seeing that keeping all our manufacturing facilities in one country has certain risk. So they are looking into diversion of their risks, thinking of setting up manufacturing in another country also. And they find that India with demography, we call 4Ds. We have 138 crore, 137 crore population, large demand, young population, demographic dividend, which is called demand, demography, and democracy is important. So we have the democracy is an important factor for this transparent contract implementation, transparent economic system. So these also give them an opportunity to shift their manufacturing sector to India. So in the Atmanirbhar Bharat, we see a lot of opportunities from the challenges arising from COVID, that many global manufacturers will shift and set up their manufacturing base to India. So domestic manufacturing is our focus. Foreign manufacturers shifting their manufacturing base to India. And yes, 2-3 days back, the Prime Minister announced that we are opening up our defense industry. Defense industry is a big industry where everything was being imported. We were importing from screw nuts to small rifle, pistol, everything globally. And a lot of foreign exchange was going out and manufacturing was not taking place in India. We have reserved 101 items for specifically being manufactured in defense items to in India only. The Army, Air Force, etc. will have to procure those 101 items from Indian manufacturers also. So MSME sector is our focus, which will manufacture a lot of products of defense in India. So this is also an area where Atmanirbhar Bharat will focus on.
Okay. So boycott Chinese product is also trending nowadays. And we have also banned some Chinese apps. But if we look closer, we see that there are so many Indian startups who receives investment from China. So the biggest question which comes in our mind is what is Indian and what is Chinese?
China has over the past some years has invested heavily into technological companies into India. But if you look into the total component of investment, it is not very big. Only $26 billion of investment has come into India from China. So it is not a big, though they have made good inroads into many of the technological companies. And if you look into our IT professionals, our artificial intelligence capabilities, our IITs, etc., we are supplying these brains people with some and these professionals, IT professionals, and these areas, artificial intelligence, etc., to the global companies. Why they cannot work in into India and develop these products? And what's this? Though this Atmanirbhar Bharat is not only focused against China's, and it is not uh, only dependent on this Chinese intrusion into Galwan. It it started in November 2019 when we went out of refused to sign RCEP and thought of reworking on free trade agreement with ASEAN countries. Since then, we had thought that we have to focus on domestic manufacturing, and we started doing those steps. But on the software side, though China has made inroads, so government is looking on to, today also, government has announced one initiative, MIghty, our information technological industries, has announced that we will identify 300 startup ecosystem which will be given seed funding by the government. So government, if you look into the Atal Innovation Mission, Atal Tinkering Labs and startup ecosystem, that's a website is very good. Government has done a lot of work on this startup, developing startup ecosystem, providing them seed capital, hand-holding for marketing, giving them technological support. Even the government is working, if you see the focus in the new education policy, is there we want to link academic institutions to the commercial ecosystem. What is happening? We found that our education academic institutions are doing research, but their commercial utilization is not where they are focusing. We are not developing that many patents. Our this BIS etc. standards are not up to the mark to the global standards. We lack on BIS standard. So Indian standard IS etc. So ISO etc. So the government is focusing on creating patent, easing the patent system. IPR area we are working on. We have worked a lot on the startup ecosystem, providing seed capital, marketing and technological support to them. And I just now that MET is taking several initiatives to help startup ecosystem. So uh, we have capability of quality entrepreneurs and professionals in IT sector, hardware, software, etc. If they get a focused approach from the government, they will we will see good development and we will be able to counter the Chinese intrusion. Government has seen this problem and they have banned many, almost 100 apps have been banned and new apps are developing, and this is giving a good chance for young people. Even hackathons are being conducted to find service solutions for industrial solutions. And even PSUs are being asked to give financial support and develop this product-based solutions of innovation so that they can buy those and processes from young researchers and startup ecosystem. So I think government is focusing. One point I would like to mention here is that in India, I find, or I have been working on many economic areas, social areas, activities, young people, etc. Over the years, certain feeling has gone into young minds and many people is that everything has to be done by government. It is not like that. Government is an enabler of activities. It can create an ecosystem of help. It can create regulations, make certain provisions in the policies, provide them financing, etc., market, etc., protect them from, like we have Anti-Monopolies Act, Competition Commission. These laws, etc., can be made. All these things can be done by the government, but it can only create an enabling environment. It is for the people to come forward and work and use them. So, though we have entrepreneurship feeling in it, but somewhere I find that young people and many people think everything in India has to be done by the government. So this feeling has to go away. Therefore, when we talk that don't go for only searching job, go for job creation, go for entrepreneurship, go for self-employment. Government is creating those ecosystems. Use them, study them. Websites are there. Put your time and energy on skill development. This is the time when young mind can develop and take benefit of the new India. So I think this mindset is also required to be changed, that we should not depend on government alone to do everything.
Sir, recently, one Chinese company emerged as the lowest bidder for the construction of Delhi Meerut Regional Rapid Transit System. Not only this, there are so many other products and which cost very low if they are Chinese as compared to Indian products of the same kind. So how can we shift this demand over the of the Chinese product towards Indian products of the same kind?
Government has identified 20 areas where we have seen lot of influx from these neighboring countries, particularly China particularly. The model which China has been operating in manufacturing is that there is a sort of subsidies in the whole system. Therefore, they are able to manufacturing very cheaply. Government is working on certain areas of, I told you those areas will reduce the cost of manufacturing into the areas. And these 20 items, areas like toys, electrical items, electronics, then musical instruments, all these items do not require high technology, and they can be easily manufactured into India, but they are just due to cost competitiveness are being imported and dumped from China. So government is focusing on these areas where it will make clusters, like toy parks are being developed, where all facilities of power, land bank, availability of power, transfer of land, transparent land cost, etc., will be created, and with the logistic cost being reduced, etc., so that basically we can reduce the manufacturing cost of this. Technology can be innovated, new development can take place, etc. Slowly we will uh, be able to counter that influx of those products from China. These are called, these are not merit goods, are not essential goods that persons cannot live without them. They are very important for existence of one's life, etc. So here certain amount of import duty increase will help counter the inverted duty structure that seeps in into through influx of low-cost Chinese goods. So in these areas, definitely government has increased import duties, and secondly, we are trying to provide develop clusters of development for particularly certain items, whether it's electronic item, electrical items, musical instruments, toys, etc., where government will be able to give them facilities to manufacture in a global competitive market.
So, under the umbrella of self-reliant India, we came across the concept of skill mapping. So, is this the right situation to map or divide the skills or organize the unorganized labors, which is a huge chunk of the population? So, is it the right time to focus on skill mapping instead of immediate issues first?
Like, at the government level, government had lot of resources. There are many departments. State governments are also working. Everything cannot be, it is not a sequential development that India can look into alone. That one thing, then next thing, many things can be done simultaneously and by a different people. If you look into the COVID crisis, what happened was lot of migration labor was a big problem. They are moving away from their house and working in different areas. And if they want to look into new employment, new areas, when we are talking about Industrial Revolution 4.0, there will be disruption in certain industries. We'll see that there is a disruption in hotel industries, tourism, transport, certain industries, even in the technological front also. We have seen disruptions in BSNL, MTNL are finding it very difficult to operate in the current scenario. So certain areas or industries or sectors will find difficulty in the future, and new areas will come for future development. So the skill mapping is required for the people. One thing. Second, you have rightly mentioned that almost 93% of our population, labor force, is in informal sector. So government is looking into that area so that there is social security angle is also required. They have better facilities of working at the place where they are working, about logistic and boarding, housing, etc. These are the areas where the government is focusing. And ultimately, they have to be skill mapped and enhance their skill. If you look into many of the industries people we have been interacting, they are looking for talent, they are looking for skills, but the education system at present is not preparing them to those skills, particularly of vocational studies. Everybody wants to go for BA, MA, BCom, and would like to sit in an office and work on computer for accounts, etc., or etc. This is not possible for a population, such a large population. We have to work in vocational studies. Everybody's mindset, level of education, his inclination, etc., are not similar. So based on their liking, background, education, institute, requirement of industries, this requires a proper analysis and mapping and bridging the gap between. So therefore, skill mapping of the labor force. Also, this data analysis will also help into helping the educational policies direction also. It will also help the industries to identify people. So this skill mapping is a very important initiative. Certain state governments have went ahead in a very nice way. I'm living in Noida. So UP government has done a lot of work on this. So skill mapping and identifying skills, creating opportunities for skill development, and providing them with initiatives where they can work in industries, etc., is very important. One example I would like to tell you is, I have been to many countries in the world. USA was one area when earlier I had been on behalf of government to meet their people. What I thought about the study their manufacturing in other areas was, for everybody, the toolkit is very important for any work. We don't focus in India on toolkits. If a plumber is there, what instrument he will know? Electrician, what are the instruments that he need to work? America has done lot of research and development on toolkits, developing toolkits for every work. And they have developed so many nice kits that toolkits, etc., that if you have those toolkits, you yourself can work in your house on small areas. So toolkit is an important area of skill development of any workforce. And if they know how to use those toolkits, how to develop those toolkits, this is an area where lot of work is required. Therefore, government has earlier taken out this 21 days courses on how to operate certain machines, how to work on certain skills. This skill development certification course was developed based on these areas. So these are the areas where work is being done, but a lot work has to be done more.
Sir, there was a trade war between US and China, due to which over 50 companies shifted out of China, and only 3 of them came to India. Sir, don't you think to make India Atmanirbhar, it is necessary to make business-friendly laws that attract the foreign investors?
Yes, therefore the government is focusing on ease of doing business. We in 2014, we were at the 142nd rank in ease of doing business. We have moved down to 63 rank. Every year we went to 130. Next year we went to 100 ranking, then 69, and now it is 63. And the target is to go below 50. So many of there are 10 areas where the work, this analyze and this ease of doing business is analyzed. 2 areas where we are lacking is on tax compliances and the contract enforcement. On the tax compliances, GST is an important initiative by the government. Even government has taken initiative on virtual assessment in direct tax compliances also. So indirect and direct tax compliance, government has done a lot of work. Its result will be shown in 1 or 2 years. GST is almost stabilized, but virtual e-assessment, etc. is initiative has been recently announced. It will take 1 year more. So tax compliances area, we are lacking a lot. That is the area where the government is focusing. Similarly, on this contract enforcement also, we are lacking a lot. So government is setting up district court and various other commercial courts, etc., so that contract enforcement is taken away from this current court structure, where there is a lot of clogging of the system, because they have so many cases and infrastructure is not there to handle so many cases. So commercial courts and district courts and taking mercantile law and contract enforcement and giving them to those courts will help in better contract enforcement. So we will surely reach a ranking of 50th, which is an important part. More has to be done. But many of we have a federal structure, many of the issues with regard to ease of doing business are with the state government. Land is an important component of manufacturing, which is with the state government. Even labor laws are part of the state government. So center has consolidated 46 labor laws into 4 codes only, so that there is ease of compliance of labor laws. But still lot many things have to be done by the state. So to motivate states into doing ease of doing business, we have started, NITI Aayog has started ranking of the states in the similar manner on the ease of doing business, so that there is a competition among the states. And land banks are being identified by the state government, and these information website was launched 2 days back by the Ministry of Commerce and Industry, where we are listing all the land bank areas available for foreign investor to identify those land, and if where it will fulfill their requirement, they can simply go single window clearance for acquiring that land through the state government can take it. So these technological driven initiatives are taking place. Many of the information is not reaching to the common man. With young people with new mind, technology, etc., go for website, look into various initiatives the government is taking, read them, understand them, and take them to the right people. Inform them. You will create value for yourself, create value for them also, and create value for the country also.
Sir, lastly, I would like to ask what we as a student and as a citizen can do for making Bharat Atmanirbhar. So we have different age groups and we have a huge population. So what can be done?
हाँ, इसको मैं थोड़ा हिंदी में बोलना चाहूँगा।
Sure, sir.
हाँ, देखिए, सबसे बड़ी बात है, स्वाभिमान सबके लिए बहुत जरूरी होता है। जबकि किसी भी व्यक्ति में स्वाभिमान हो, तब वो उसको अपने ऊपर आत्मविश्वास होना चाहिए, उसको अपने देश के ऊपर आत्मविश्वास होना चाहिए। और जो हमारे यहाँ डेमोक्रेटिक सिस्टम है, यहाँ पे हर व्यक्ति को 5 साल के लिए एक सरकार आती है, उसको हम लोगों ने चुना है, उसको उसके ऊपर भी पूरा विश्वास रखना चाहिए कि वह काम करेगी। और इस जो पैटी पॉलिटिक्स में ना जाके हमें जब तक हम यंग हैं, जब तक हमारा टाइम न्यू नॉलेज गेन करने का टाइम है, ये यंग एज जो होती है ना, यंगर पीरियड होता है, यहाँ पे गेन मैक्सिमम नॉलेज, गेन मैक्सिमम इंफॉर्मेशन, प्रोसेस देम, और स्वाभिमान रखो अपने इंस्टीट्यूशंस पे, अपनी कंट्री पे, अपने देश के लीडर्स के ऊपर और अपने ऊपर, तब हम लोग प्रगति कर सकते हैं। और अगर एक चीज आप देखिए, हमारा 3000 साल का इतिहास है, रिटर्न इतिहास जिसको कहते हैं भारत का, जिसमें कि रिटर्न हिस्टोरिकल हमारा इतिहास है, उसमें से 2700 साल तक हमने ग्लोबल ट्रेड का 25 से 30% तक का ग्लोबल ट्रेड इंडिया कंट्रोल करता था। पिछले 300 साल में ही है कि हम धीरे धीरे पिछड़ते चले गए और आज हमारे पास ग्लोबल ट्रेड का 2% से भी कम का हिस्सा है। तो जब भी हमने प्रोग्रेस किया, हमने ग्लोबल इकोनॉमिक इकोसिस्टम में अपने आप के मजबूत फुटप्रिंट के साथ किया है। तो इसलिए ग्लोबल कंपटीशन से डरना नहीं है, स्किल डेवलपमेंट करना है। हमारे एजुकेशनल इंस्टीट्यूशंस में, हमारे IIT, IIM और एजुकेशनल इंस्टीट्यूशन के सारे बच्चे ग्लोबल कंपनीज में टॉप पोजीशंस पे हैं। और मैं बताता हूँ, सिंगापुर में मेजर फाइनेंशियल सिस्टम, सिंगापुर का फाइनेंशियल सिस्टम बहुत मजबूत है, उसी की इकोनॉमी में बहुत बड़ा आर्बिट्रेशन एक्सेट्रा, सिंगापुर की इकोनॉमी का बहुत बड़ा हिस्सा आर्बिट्रेशन फाइनेंशियल सिस्टम कंट्रोल करता है, कंट्रीब्यूट करता है। सिंगापुर, हांगकांग और लंदन, इसमें मेजॉरिटी जो इन कंपनीज में लोग कंट्रोल कर रहे हैं वो इंडियंस हैं। अमेरिका की टेक्नोलॉजी में, सिलिकॉन वैली में इंडियंस है। तो हम लोग वहां पे जाके इतना प्रोग्रेस करते हैं, इतना वो करते, तो हमारे अंदर कैपेसिटी है। कहीं ना कहीं स्वाभिमान की कमी आ गई, जिससे कि हम लोग अपने देश के साथ वो चीज नहीं कर पाए। तो यह एक जरूरी है, हमारे अंदर कैपेसिटी है। ग्लोबल ट्रेड के साथ हमें इकोनॉमिक सुपर पावर बनना है, तो ग्लोबल ट्रेड को हमें उसमें पार्टिसिपेट करना है, कंट्रोल करना है, और उसमें इम्पोर्टेंट रोल प्ले करना है। और अपनी कैपेसिटी, ये जब एक बार डायरेक्शन हो जाती है, विजन हो जाता है, तो संकल्प शक्ति बहुत महत्वपूर्ण होती है। जो संकल्प शक्ति में बहुत सारी कैपेसिटी होती है। अगर जिसने संकल्प लिया और डिटर्मिनेशन, विल पावर होती है, वही आदमी लाइफ में अचीव करता है। तो विजन, गोल क्लियर हो, स्वाभिमान हो, उसके साथ उसके विल पावर हो, और फिर उस विल पावर रोड मैप को आइडेंटिफाई करके उस गोल को अचीव करने के लिए जो कैपेसिटी बिल्डिंग की चीज चाहिए, नॉलेज चाहिए, स्किल डेवलपमेंट चाहिए, जो एजुकेशन चाहिए, इंफॉर्मेशन चाहिए, वह पूरी तरह से उसके लिए कोशिश करनी चाहिए। क्योंकि बेस्ट पार्ट ऑफ लाइफ इज अराउंड 35 ईयर्स से नीचे ही जो होता है, जब बेस्ट लाइफ की पीरियड होता है, वेयर न्यू थिंग, न्यू इनिशिएटिव, न्यू एक्शंस कैन बी टेकन। और लास्ट पॉइंट मेरा ये कहना है कि हर का एक का गोल जब बनाते हैं, विल पावर के साथ अचीव करना चाहते हैं, उस गोल को अपनी फैमिली के गोल, फैमिली के गोल को सोसाइटी के गोल, और सोसाइटी के गोल को आप देश के ऑब्जेक्टिव और गोल के साथ इंटीग्रेट करेंगे, तो हम अपना जो भी प्रोग्रेस करेंगे, अपना जो भी वेल्थ क्रिएट करेंगे, अर्जित करेंगे, इक्वालिटी अर्जित करेंगे, उससे देश को भी फायदा होगा। तो अलाइनिंग आवर गोल्स विद द national goals, family goals, society goals, and individual goals is an important part of the process of career orientation. तो ये मेरा कहना है कि आप लोग ये जो टेक्नोलॉजी है, ये वेबसाइट्स वगैरह, गूगल वगैरह, ये बहुत सारी इंफॉर्मेशन बहुत इजीली पब्लिक डोमेन में अवेलेबल होती है। जरूर इस पे आधी घंटा 1 घंटा रोज लगाना चाहिए, बट बी कंस्ट्रक्टिव इन दैट, लुक इनटू न्यू इश्यूज, इंफॉर्मेशन गैदरिंग, नॉलेज गैदरिंग। हमारे पुराने ऐतिहासिक जो धर्म ग्रंथ हैं या किताबें हैं, उनमें भी फिलोसॉफिकल, ग्लोबली, टेक्नोलॉजी, कई बार हमें ये भी कंफ्यूजन होता है कि ये जो वेद वगैरह है सब जो है ना, ये केवल लाइफ आफ्टर डेथ और इन सब की बात करते हैं। एक्चुअली दे टॉक अबाउट आयुर्वेद है, धनुर्वेद है, दे टॉक अबाउट साइंस, कणाद है, इन सबको पढ़ना चाहिए, देखना चाहिए, तो पता चलेगा ये स्वाभिमान जागृत करने के लिए बहुत महत्वपूर्ण है। अब कणाद जैसे ऋषि थे, वो हजारों साल पहले उन्होंने लिखित में अणु और इन सब के बारे में लिखा। एस्ट्रोनॉमी वगैरह में हमारा आज भी जो एक्लिप्स वगैरह प्रिडिक्ट करते, तो हमारे यहाँ पे बेस्ट सिस्टम है, साइंटिफिक नॉलेज है। मैथमेटिक्स में हमारा नॉलेज ग्लोबल लेवल पे बहुत अच्छे लेवल पे था। तो इन सब चीजों को समझना चाहिए, पढ़ना चाहिए और इनको देख के आगे बढ़ना चाहिए।